Let's do another Valentine's look. Now, this look is called Simply Romantic. Definitely more on the natural side. It's very, very pretty. It's honestly simple and everyday type of makeup, but let's just get into it. You guys already know we're gonna go in with some primer to prep our face. Now, we are gonna go in with some eyeshadow, so let's prep our eye. Now, I do want to go in with a little bit of a base shadow, so I'm just going to apply this more like nudish peach one, just right all over the lid. Now I am going to go with more of like this neutral warm brown on a pretty dense brush, and I'm going to start off on the lower portion of the eye and just blending it all the way into the crease. Now in a little bit more of a fluffy brush, I'm going to go in with this more Khaki brown. It's a little bit lighter than the one that we just went in, and I'm actually just going to go and diffuse this look with just circular motions all around. Now to diffuse that look even more, I'm going to go in with this more lighter peach on a more fluffy brush, and I'm just going to go just right on top and just sweeping swiping motions. And now just to make sure we have the most nice and diffused look, we're going to go in with a very light cream brush, and I'm actually going to focus this mostly underneath the brow bone, just right underneath, just going in circular motions, diffusing everything that we have just laid down. Now this is the eye look, very nice, very simple. So we're going to go in with a tiny bit of brown eyeliner, and we're just going to create a small wing, a little bit more on the natural side, just to match the vibes of the eyeshadow. And of course we need to go in and color correct the under eye. Now let's also take a little bit of green to combat this redness that's underneath my nose. Now let's go in with a little bit of a skin tint. Now because this look is definitely more on the natural side, I'm just going to do a sheer light coverage. Okay, so while we're letting that skin tint adhere to the skin, let's start doing our brows. So I'm just going to run some brow gel just to fluff them up a bit. Now let's add a bronzer. Now I love this bronzer so much because it's definitely more on the natural side, so I'm just going to take actually a lighter amount than what I usually do, just to keep up with the vibes. Now let's start building our blush combo. So the eye look is definitely a little bit more on the angled side, so I'm going to focus it right here in the tiniest little dot right here, just to ensure that when I'm blending this out, I actually go a little bit up. So now we've laid all our creams and liquids, so let's go ahead and start setting this face so that it does not budge. I'm going to start off with first my under eye, because that is where I crease the most. And whatever is left on the puff, I'm just going to drag it around. Now I want to add a little bit of some loose powder, just focusing on where I applied that pressed powder. Now because I'm feeling a little bit extra, I'm going to go in with a little bit of a pink powder, where I'm going to go in with my powder blush just over here. Now especially for like more natural looks, I feel like going in with a colored powder makes everything that you put on top of it a little bit more natural. See, now we have like a slightest bit of tint, you know, like it looks really pretty once you actually go ahead and apply your powder blushes. But first we're going to go in with a little bit of a bronzer. Now a little bit more of a neutral bronzer too, to keep up with the more natural look. Now I feel like my nose always kind of gets lost with these looks, so very subtle, a subtle amount of contour. We need to keep the vibes natural for this look. So the lightest bit, you're going to want to hold your brush kind of more towards the end of it, so you can get the lightest bit, and then just drag the rest down. Now let's finish up our blush combo. So we're going to go in with the shade that pretty much matches that base cream brush that we went in. And the same way, we're just going to, since the eye look is kind of going a little bit more slanted, we're going to keep it a little bit more slanted too. Now I do want to take a little bit of a mid-tone shade, so going just right in the middle right here, just to build a little bit of some depth. So we went in with the darkest shade first, and now we're going to add our middle tone right here. Now we can never forget our lightest blending blush shade, so we're going to take this all around, making sure that we get a nice diffused look. Now let's finish up the brows, so adding some brow powder. Now go in with the shade a little bit lighter than what you would usually go in, just to tie in that natural look. It's all about the natural vibes today. Are the brows looking natural? Probably not, but we're gonna go in and do our liner combo. So I'm gonna go in with this gel one just right on top where we placed that liquid. Now I do want to add some highlight. Now this is definitely where the natural makeup cannot look a little natural makeup, so we're gonna go in with a very, very fluffy, almost flimsy brush, and then we're gonna take the little bit on a palm right here, and the rest just going to lightly fan it onto our highest points, and then same thing, and then we just apply some on the nose. Now let's also set that with a powder version, so we're going to do the same thing. We're actually going to tap it really nice into the brush, and we're going to still take that leftover and just apply it right on top where we place that cream version. Now let's go finish up the eye. So we're going to go back in with that brown shade that we went in first with a small pointed brush, and we're just going to run this through the under eye. Now for very light and natural looks like this, I like to take a matte shade for the inner corner, so I'm going to go in with this one and really pack it into that brush and just tap right in the center, and then start blending it very, very lightly into that shadow. See how it's just like a nice extra little detail? Now let's go ahead and do a little curl to the lashes and apply some mascara to both the top and the bottom lashes. Now let's go ahead and do our lip combo. So I'm going to go in with this more brownish lip liner. It's a little bit more on the nudish side. Now for just a nice subtle lip color to keep up with the natural, we're going to go in with Clinique's Black Honey. Now let's finish this look off with setting the base. And this is the finished look. Now you guys already know the look will never be complete unless you have your hair, accessories, and your outfit on. So I will be right back. And this is the finished look called Simply Romantic. A very, very beautiful take on just simple and everyday makeup with a little bit of here and there to tie in with the Valentine's theme. So if you guys recreate this look, totally let me know. But with that, this is it for today's look. Bye!